Joe Biden was like, I'm gonna extend the student loan forgiveness or whatever it is. These are going on like damn near 2 years, right?
We gets cut off a little bit there, but he was basically just talking about how federal student loans have been paused for over 2 years and nothing has really happened. Which got me thinking, what if everybody just stopped paying their student loans altogether? Let's break it down. So essentially, the federal student loan program and the U.S. Department of Education are both funded by taxpayer money. We all end up paying taxes in one form or another, whether it's property tax, sales tax, income tax. All of this money comes from us to support the federal agencies and programs that are currently in place because remember, the government is a non-profit organization, which means it has no other way of making money other than from taxes. At the moment, around 43 million people have federal student loans and have a combined debt of around $1.5 trillion. Would the government basically crumble if everybody just stopped paying? Well, not exactly. Once you pay your taxes for the year, the government basically takes that money and allocates it towards certain funds like transportation, military spending, or education. This money is then all accounted for in a budget that Congress sets every single year. But at the start of each year, we know how much money is going to go towards the Department of Education, for instance, same with the Department of Health and Human Services, and so on. This is exactly why you don't see these government programs basically failing. It's all been accounted for in the budget, and you not paying your student loans has also been accounted for. But what if it wasn't accounted for, and literally everyone just stopped paying their student loans altogether? Oh, to the government, not much, but to you, a lot. Remember, the federal government has the ability to print money, so at first, they would probably just print money to cover the cost. So if the US government had 43 million people that defaulted on their loan, which basically just means that the borrower can no longer pay the debt back, the US government would have to cover that cost. Which means you'd see the federal government pay that $1.5 trillion in debt themselves, but they don't just have $1.5 trillion lying around. And from the government's perspective, that might be the end of it. If it continued to be a problem with new borrowers in the future, you may see the end of the federal student loan program, or you might see it become a lot harder to get federal student loans. On the flip side, if you stop paying your student loans, the problem won't be as easy to solve. If you willingly stop paying your student loans, meaning there's not an income problem that's causing you to not pay them, then the federal government will garnish your wages or may even repossess some of your assets. This will be in a long process that they'll eventually sue you for. Not to mention your credit will tank, which makes it harder for you to get another loan to buy bigger things in the future. If 43 million people have bad credit because they refuse to pay their student loans, we may see a ripple effect throughout the economy. Housing market and auto markets might crash because nobody can get approved for a new loan because everyone's credit is so low. Inflation may increase because the federal government just had to print $1.5 trillion to cover the student loan debt. That'll make the price of everything go way up. Not to mention, if the federal loan program disappeared, a lot of people couldn't go to school, meaning colleges and private lenders may go under and now they need a bailout, which means more money printed. And how would the government pay for all this? Well, they would just increase taxes. If everybody stopped paying their student loans, not a lot would happen to the federal government, but we would all be in a world of hurt.